What is this? Why is my app so slow? I have demo in few days. I can't bear this. I need to take a nap. Ah, ah, ah. I have to do it. I have to do something about it. How to make my apps, Angular apps faster? Let's find out. Hi everyone, this is Gaurav from the Angular Coder, and today we are going to talk about performance, and this will be a part of series. This is a start. We will have multiple videos in this series talking about each aspect of how to improve performance in your Angular application. How they can improve performance in their application, what are the checklists to work upon. If you really enjoy this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already, because I am creating videos every day and giving you new content to work with. I am here to help you out. Let's start. So first of all, the question is why performance is very important. There are many websites. Basically, a user has a attention span of 7 seconds. If you spend more time in load than 7 seconds, people might go away from your website. There are a lot of considerations how you can reduce the load time. Then there comes small transitions and animations. If your website is a game, then it's obviously very important that you should have a high FPS. A high FPS, consider one thing, right? If you want to achieve 60 frames per second, then you should do each frame calculation within 8 milliseconds. The JavaScript calculation should be completed within 8 milliseconds, because next 8 milliseconds will be used for rendering and CSS composition. So we'll go into details of that. Then there is topic about response time, when you can calculate animations. There are some points in your workflow when user, consider one thing, when you are clicking a button, there can be a response delay of 100 milliseconds to 200 milliseconds where user will not perceive if you create that delay. During that delay, you can calculate all animation frames and then provide JS to do it. It can be done. There are a lot of ways for doing that. We'll go into details of all of that too. We are going to start our video today by showing you an audit screen and how to measure performance of your website, how to know if your website is good enough. Chrome provides an awesome option here. Let's see on the screen. You can see on your screen right now we have a YouTube channel open and we will page open, and then we'll try to generate report. So you can open up the developer tool by pressing F12 on your keyboard. In developer tool, you have to go to the last tab in the screen. You can see there are multiple tabs. If you don't see Lighthouse in front of you, then by clicking this drop down option here and then clicking on Lighthouse there. So once you reach to the Lighthouse, just click on generate report to see all the information you want to. So it is loading up our application right now. It is loading up YouTube and seeing how is the performance of that website. This basically generates the information about your performance. Right now you can see different scores. There is accessibility, SEO, performance, and every stuff. So in this there are multiple points. We'll go into deep when we talk about Rail. But yeah, at overview, this will have content pane, time, what it took to be interactive. You can go ahead and check for your website what is your audit score. As you saw, there are websites which are slow, there are websites which are very fast. How do you do so? There are multiple things which you can take in consideration, but one of the most recommended and important one I will say is Rail. Link is in the description about that, so you can read it through, as obviously I will go into detail about Rail in upcoming videos. So please remember to subscribe the channel. But yeah, Rail consists of Rail is an acronym of 4 words, that is response, animation, idle time, and load. Load is the 1 second delay. Basically, you should load your website within 1 second. How you are going to do this, we'll go into details in future video when we explore Rail. But load is what is the initial load time. Then you have idle time is the one where basically when the page load is until the content is loaded up, what you can do during that time, where you can calculate what other contents you have to load. You can do some JavaScript calculations if you want, and you can load the images and stuff after it. So then there is animation. Generally, if you want to achieve a high performing website, you should have a 16 millisecond response animation frame time. A 60 millisecond. Why 16 millisecond? Because if you divide, basically you have to have 60 frames per second. That means for each frame you get 16 milliseconds, and for each to achieve 16 millisecond aim, you have to do your all JavaScript calculation within 8 milliseconds. And we'll go into those things, how we can improve that. Then there is last one is called response time. If you have clicked a button or you have done some action, a user has done some action on the screen, there is a delay of 100 to 200 millisecond where you can do some performance calls or you can do server calls if you want. In animations, we'll go into details in a separate video where we'll talk about how CSS property can affect your animation. What are layers? Which CSS property can you use to do same things but with better performance? There are a lot of things to go in that, so please continue watching our videos. After that, we'll talk about something which can be easily fixed and can be noted, that is memory leak. Memory leaks are very common with observables, and you have to be really careful about that. It's easy to understand. There is a way to know about memory leaks. It is easy if you just know what to use in Chrome debugger. Then we'll go ahead and use multiple workers. I mean, we have talked about that JavaScript is a single threaded application, but there are a lot of devices in the world. There are 70% of population who are using subpar phones to view your application on their devices. In that cases, what should you do? There is a way to make JavaScript multi-threaded, and there is a good way to do it. We'll go into details of that, how we can do it. If you use multi-threading, basically all your business logic and all your calculations in a separate thread, and use your main thread just to pass information to the separate thread to do any calculation or server call, that can help your performance. Then we'll talk about PWA, how it can improve your performance by a margin, because PWA is a tool where all your network calls are cached, can be cached. There can be different strategies to do that, but in generic case, your application data will be cached when you load it. So your JavaScript files are generally right now it is going around 4 to 5 MB generally, and it takes time for slower networks to download it. Even if user really wants to be on a website, he stays there for 10 seconds and website loads up. If you have changed something in code and then he opens it again, it will be slow for him to respond, or basically the website will load slowly because data is not cached anymore. So these PWAs help in that case, that it will cache the data. Also, if you have any changes done in server, it will update the cache in background. These service workers are different from web workers. Web workers are instantiated when you open your website. Service workers are alive during Chrome, as the Chrome is running in the background. It is alive during that time and it can cache data. Then generally in PWA, when you open a website, it will load data it will show the screen instantly by loading old cache data, and then in background it will update your cached information with the latest code. So we will also talk about what care we should take when we are introducing new code. It should not break the old one. At the end, one of the important topics we'll talk about is immutability, and what its important is. Basically, it is around change detection, how change detection happens and how it impacts performance if you are not careful. How you can introduce immutability, what are different kind of pipes, because pipes do help in improving your performance a lot. This is mostly around what we'll talk in future. I hope you enjoyed the video till now, and I hope you would subscribe to this channel to see future videos coming in very soon. I'm posting every day. I might post some other topics in between, but this series will be completed soon enough, and you will get an idea about how to increase performance in your Angular apps. I hope this will help you a lot, and if it helps you, if you want to keep listening to me, just like this video so that I can reach to more people. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.